All right, so I just wanted to come to you guys today to talk to you about how we got to where we're at today. So, to start at the beginning, we opened a company in January 2020. We got a warehouse. I had been flipping things just kind of out of my shed in my backyard, and we got our first warehouse. So it was a 3,000 square foot warehouse. I got it for $1,000 a month, and decided to try truckloads. So we got that, got a couple truckloads, flipping things on nights and weekends, and then got a little bigger, so I was able to bring on an employee. So I brought on my first employee, my friend Derek. He came down in March of 2020 and started working with us. Obviously, we all know what happened in March of 2020. Lockdown happened and things changed drastically. So we were still flipping. I was working my day job. Derek was working nights and weekends trying to get the warehouse up and running. Did okay. Even through the lockdown, we were able to do some things. We did a couple business liquidations. We were buying truckloads of Staples, truckloads of Target, moving product as much as we could. And in October, we had the opportunity to get our first retail store. So we got a 6,000 square foot store that cost $6,500 a month. So it was a bigger investment. And we opened a bin store. I brought in another friend, and they opened the bin store. I still worked my 9 to 5. We ran that bin store, brought on a couple more employees, and grew that until the following year. And in July of 2021, we had the opportunity to take over this location, which is where we're at right now. It is 20,000 square feet, and there was an existing bin store in here that decided to close down. Things weren't working out for them. So we moved our bin store here. We still had our warehouse location, and we still had our other location. So it got pretty big. And at that point, we were up to almost 12 employees. So we ran a liquidation store out of our other warehouse, or our other store. We ran the bin store out of this location. And we had the warehouse and a second warehouse actually to accommodate some of the overstock. And that was in July of 2021. So after about 19 months. And that's when I was able to quit my day job and really jumped into this full time. So over the past 2 years, as we've been coming out of COVID, liquidation has changed a lot. We have adjusted and pivoted what we've been buying constantly. We've actually kind of downsized over the past 2 years here, where we've gotten everything under one roof. So right now we have our bin store, which is where I'm walking around now, here on half of the store. You can see over there we have our other half where we have our liquidation store. So right now, that's where we're at. We have our bin store, we have a liquidation store, we have a video game section up there that we sell, we have e-commerce, we do auctions, and we're going to kind of jump into showing you guys a tour of what the bin store currently looks like before we're transitioning into the next thing. So here we go. All right, so here's a quick tour of our bin store. This is the entrance to the bin side. We got our hours in the middle, liquidations on that side. Got our brief rules there. There's our price of the day. You walk in here. This is the store. We have our community corner over there. People can post cards or events coming up. We got a couple arcade machines to keep the kids or husbands busy while the wife shop. We do have some carts. As you can see, we put kind of breakable items up here up front, and we'll tend to put small electronics as well, so it's a little harder to walk off with. We got food down there. Right now we're liquidating a bunch of our clothing, so we got that there. Our prices up on the wall, very clear. So, and then we have these welding walls that we're able to move throughout the week as we sell items. So we actually, as you can see back here, we actually have an empty row. So this was full, and then we'd move the walls up as we condense, just to keep the bins full throughout the week, so it doesn't look like it's completely empty. And then we've already been pulling for the following weeks. And as you know, we're working on kind of winding down. So this is the next 3 weeks that we have. And that's hopefully going to be getting rid of all the items we have. Typically, this row was full with medium-sized products or large items, as it says, and we would pull so many from here. It's a little bit different than usual just because we are liquidating. So, and then this row was usually what's being pulled for the next week. And then this is where we would have multiple items. We had 2 rows of these collapsible Gaylords that we would fill with items. As you can see, we've already started kind of breaking things down. But like there's all one one item, which don't even know really what, oh, these are mailers here. So we would throw a couple of those out each week. And then there's some more back stock as well here. As you can see, we have a lot of clothing that we're getting rid of. So we had food and HBA over on those shelves, kind of crated up for each week with instructions on how to pull. We did have some more products there, and then over there is getting ready for our liquidation side. And then back here, which we've broken a lot down last week, so it looks very different. We had these collapsible Gaylords as well that were running down the middle, and these shelves were full of product. You can see there's still some remnants that we're finishing pulling off. Whatever we had, if there was one item, and then we would come and pull, so many of each item. They were kind of tags. I'll see if I can show you some here. But you can see there, it basically said 2 per bin. So we would come in once a week and pull everything that we needed for the week. They would walk down this aisle here and pull everything. We have it on both sides. And then on this side as well, we would have product to pull off of these shelves and product off of these back shelves as well as we got more. So it's a little bit of a transition right now. Usually this aisle was empty. So you'd pull from here, you would pull from here, and just keep going down the aisle. But as you're finding out in this video, we are transitioning the bin store. So everything's kind of in flux and changing at the moment. But I just wanted to get a quick video to show you guys what it looks like right now, and then we will be trying to keep updates over the next few weeks as we transition from the bin store to the marketplace. So there you go. All right, so now that you've seen a little bit of a tour of the store here, I want to get a little more of the details of why we're deciding to close the bin store. So over the past 6 months, it seems like Amazon liquidation has been getting leaner and leaner. It's been getting harder and harder to find loads at a decent price. When we first started about 3 years ago, we can get items on average for about $1 an item, which is where we need to be at for our price point. Now, if we can find them for $2.50 or $3, that's about the average, and that just doesn't work with our pricing model. So we have definitely diversified over the past 3 years in buying items from multiple locations. And we've been buying Staples, Target, Office Depot, Home Depot, Lowe's. I mean, just wherever I could find high piece count to bring our average down to $1 an item to get as much items for the bins as possible. That's what we've been doing. So that has now had to become the, I guess, default business model for other bin stores over the past 6 months. And because of that, the entire market's been going up. So we are no longer able to get inventory. So we were looking at some ways to diversify. We looked at maybe finding a smaller location and getting out of the current lease that we're in with this 20,000 square feet. That didn't work. We were looking into a lot of other places. The prices are just a lot higher. We do have a pretty big competitive advantage in the fact that we have a very cheap rate of rent here. So we decided to kind of diversify and get into another market, get out of being completely reliant on liquidation and flipping, and perform kind of a duty for the reselling community. And that's really what I kind of view this overstock marketplace as. So we wanted to make this transition, and I wanted to kind of film it really just mainly for us to have a record of it, to look back and maybe see some of the mistakes we made, what we did well, how we could change if we do change into something else, or as we make more business in the future. So I'm planning on filming it. I'd love for you guys to come along the journey with me. I'm going to try to get out weekly videos during this process. We have about 3 more weeks, really, or about 4 weeks until we're planning on opening. So it's going to be very quick. If I can get 2 videos out a week, I will. But some of the changes are going to be minute, and it's going to be harder to tell. So come with us along the journey. Please, if you guys have any comments, questions, anything about how we got started, where we're at now, if you have any suggestions, if this is something you've done before, I'd love to hear. That's another reason I want to get these videos out there, so I can get some input from other people to see how we can improve on what we're doing. So thanks, guys, and hopefully we'll see you soon.